revelations by Iron Mouse and many other of the talents at Vshojo may very well end that VTubing company. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. This is an insane saga that really it even peaks perhaps what is going down and what went down last year with Doki Bird and with Niji Sanji, insofar as this is looking like it will end this VTubing company, Vshojo, completely, and because we are seeing a massive pool of talent that is looking to exodus from that company.
Absolutely.
Now, just understand this is a fast facts pre-recorded video, but I recorded this after listening to Case on stream, where
Smidge
she
up.
was interviewing with the Japanese.
The 1 second. I'll turn the desktop audio up a little bit. But yeah, I mean, absolutely, these people should leave. I mean, for those of you that don't really know, basically, long story short, is they're basically just the fact that they have been keeping their VTubers paycheck for almost a year is enough to judge their morals. Oh, 100%. That's what I'm saying. It's basically a money laundering scheme, bro. They're just fucking not paying their fucking VTubers at all. And once you hear the amount of fucking money that they have basically monopolized and fucking stole off of fucking Iron Mouse, it's crazy, dude.
Quote unquote branch. We'll talk about that. CEO. So we're going to go through all the facts today and really stick to the legal analysis. If you want to see the full version where I'm doing more playing
audio sound better, Mark.
Play all of Iron Mouse's video and I play some other stuff as well. You check out my live version, but this is the abbreviated version for those that want to get just down to the facts. And of course, I've got a
they're 100% fucked, bro. I hope Iron Mouse takes them for everything they're fucking worth.
All started with the mouse. And there are two clear things that she dropped in her message that are legally relevant. First is that she has not been paid wages. So she's owed back wages. She's not been paid for a long time. And these payments that she's owed are in delinquency. They've been owed to her for a long time. She hasn't been paid. And this is something that has been mirrored by other talents. We now have talents.
Fucking ran that shit for fucking saying,
I have not
been 360 days, bro. How do you not get paid for 360 days?
September of last year. A very, very long time without
plus
payments, which is severe, which is significant. So there is an extended period of time with which people have not paid out to the talents. That's a massive, massive problem in and of itself. But the other great problem, and the problem that can have huge criminal liability, is the potential fraud related to the charity, related to the Immune Deficiency Foundation that Iron Mouse has always been so vocal for, because it's the cause that represents research that would help people like her and give them a brighter future and hope. And it really was something that she was so invested in. And they decided to take $500,000
more than
and not pay that out to charity.
More
Whatever
than
they did with that, it was not paid to charity, and that is a massive, massive issue. And that's an issue that can see people behind bars, that can have criminal penalties. Absolutely. Once again, these are our allegations at this point, but based on the number of
I'm hoping he shows. I think it was who was the video that they had? Was it Kason? I'm hoping he shows the video I seen, bro. There's a video. Basically one of the VTubers calling one of the CEOs and just straight up like asking him, bro. She was like, so you guys been doing good like with profits? He was like, yeah. She's like, so why haven't I gotten paid? And he's like, oh yeah, I don't know. I mean, they've been doing great with profits. They've been doing really well. She's like, so can you pay me now? And he just goes radio fucking silent. Again, remind you, this is the fucking CEO of the company, one of. Goes radio fucking silent. She goes, are you dead? Motherfucker answers, yeah. Like, yo, what the fuck? But yeah, no, that's the money amount. There's no exact dollar amount other than what they're owed to the charity, which them not paying the charity in general is extremely fucked. But the money to the charity, I believe, at this point in time is $515,000. So it's over $500,000. That shit's fucking insane.
Talent speaking up based on the number of talents that have removed the Vshojo branding. We have to, at this point, assume there is some sort of substance behind these allegations. Of course, they are going to have to fight these out. They are going to have to prove this in court or prove this through the regulatory process. However, at this point, going forward and through the scope of this video, understand that I am taking the allegations as credible. For whatever argument you may make of they're not proven yet, whatever, I understand you, but we're going to take them as credible for the purpose of this analysis. So let's continue here. So we had obviously Iron Mouse speak up, and then we had K-San get on with the JPC.
Yeah, it was K-San. Okay.
Very enlightening, and
this shit was wild.
Of the business side of what is going on.
I've seen the whole video. I don't think he's gonna show the whole thing. Oh, fuck your ads.
I'll keep trying till I get it right.
It's very clear from this that Vshojo is in financial hot water, that they were not profitable. And whatever the distinction was between JP and US, it's very important to note that there was no official legal distinction. That is an internal distinction, the same as a department, for example, saying HR or whatever else, right? Or janitorial staff. It's an internal distinction. It still fell under the control and is the legal responsibility of the headquarters in San Francisco. So the JP branch, as much as that might be a certain amount of talents that was managed by this quote unquote CEO, was not distinguished financially. So those funds that were coming in were being slushed together. So whatever profit JP was making was not offsetting clearly the losses they were taking on the US.
The other thing, so they owe,
as a whole,
so they owe Iron Mouse, again, simply on the charity aspect, over $500,000, right? And that's from supposedly her income and what she's earned to the company. Like, that's supposed to be coming out of what they pay her. Y'all remember when Iron Mouse had that fucking crazy subathon, bro, and she beat Kai out for the fucking sub record? It was like over 300,000 subs in a stream or some shit. If you do the math on that, that's like, I don't know, probably close to 500,000. I think it came out to like 325 or some shit, right? And if they were handling her finances, what'd they do with the money, bro? Where'd the money go? If these people aren't being paid, the charity's not being paid, where's the money going? That's what I want to know. Like, obviously, it's wrong that these people aren't being paid, and especially for their goods and services and their revenue that they're physically making the company along with themselves. I want to know where the fuck the money's going. This is even daylight robbery. This is GTA. Fuck yeah, dude. Without a doubt. We all know where they went. Yeah, this is fucking CEO's pocket, dude, without a doubt. That's my opinion.
It seems they were in financial dire straits. Now, one big thing that was brought up during this was that the staff was paid and not the talent. There is a very important reason for that, which we're going to get into, which is all of the talents are designated, and this is for almost all VTubing companies. I have not seen one contract, and I've reviewed all of them, including the Vshojo contract, Niji Sanji, HoloLive, Vector, all the greatest hits from big to small, Face Connect. I've seen all of them. I haven't seen a single contract that has said these people are employees. We consider them employees. They all try to make them independent contractors. That's very important, because when it comes to fighting wages and paying wages, you have to pay employees under labor law, whether it's US law, Japanese law, really all around the world. You've got to pay out those wages. But when it comes to independent contractors, well, you can shaft them, and then they've got to come and sue you or bring an action against you or claim
without a doubt, bro.
Get those back. It puts a massive burden on them to claim those amounts of money. Now, I have, since the Niji Sanji crisis.
So that's pretty crazy, though,
top of the hill,
that they're not considered employees, just as basically a 1099 employee.
For that one. These people are employees, whether you consider them full-time or part-time employees.
Stipulations of the contracts, bro.
Control and authority of these VTubing companies. Now, I understand that there was a lot more anonymity at Vshojo than other companies, but you might consider them in that case more like a part-time employee than a full-time employee that's completely controlled by the company. And in that case, they would still be owed wages under a normal analysis.
Absolutely.
And mind you,
Can I ask you a question?
Sure thing.
Fuck your
How much do you
ads.
spend on groceries per week?
God, these YouTube ads are getting crazy, bro. Like every fucking minute and a half.
50.
just because a contract says that you are an independent contractor does not mean that a particular state or country might not look at the situation, might not look at all the factors and say, under our law, we're going to consider them an employee. It's very important. And I do think in the VTubing industry going forward, this is a massive lesson that all VTubing talent should be considered employees. They should put.
I agree. I'm most curious how they thought the streamers wouldn't notice. That's the other thing. So there's a lot of things you can take from this situation. A, how America versus Japan handles their employees and wages, right? I mean, I feel like it's notoriously known at this point, especially if you're like in the anime community that watch anime, that manga writers, anime producers, all that shit, they fucking work to the bone on barely making money. I mean, that's highly known at this point, right? Well, one could probably say at this point, especially with this coming out, that goes the same for their talent marketing team. So it's basically they use and abuse their fucking talent and fatten up the marketing aspect of it and just take it all for the CEOs. That's kind of how you can look at it at this point. The other big thing you look at, bro, is when it comes to VTubers, I mean, it is, I don't know, obviously, exact statistics, but I'd fair to say it's a majority of female, right? Would you agree? I mean, if that's the case, they're just fucking completely taking advantage of these chicks. I mean, men too. Obviously, there are male VTubers, but I mean, from my understanding, most of the people that are leaving Vshojo are all females. And I definitely think there is a space for VTubers, as well as I think that space is growing, and I think it's growing pretty rapidly because VTubers give you that sense of security and anonymity where you don't have to actually be, you know, yourself on camera. Nobody has to know who you are. And I do think because the majority of VTubers are female, I do think that's kind of the, you know, quote unquote safe space in a sense. Because I don't think this would be taken to offense, but no offense, I would not want to be a female streamer, bro. Be real honest. I mean, I'm sure you can fucking do your own research and figure out there are tons and tons of cases of females just straight getting harassed, bro, just for being a female streamer. I mean, you see it in video games. I mean, you got these fucking dudes that are just fucking weirdos, to say the least. And you got the simps who will drop mad coin on a female streamer, but they want to know every single thing about you, bro. And they'll fucking, these weirdos will do whatever they got to do to figure the fuck out. You know, gamers in general, absolutely. I mean, I agree with that, and that's what I'm saying. But even so, more for female streamers, that's why I think the VTube space really gives female streamers kind of that outlet and security. And to have a massive, you know, I wouldn't say massive, but to have a large corporation or a company completely take advantage of that safe space is fucked up on a moral standpoint.
Push for being employees. They should say, no, I'm an employee if I'm going to work for your company because you need to pay me and you need to be liable if you do not pay me. And I don't think the Japanese CEO, listening to him, is the villain here. He's clearly not at the top of the rung. He's not the CEO or CFO or COO or CTO. He's at a lower rung of responsibility. He certainly cannot make shots for the entire company. That was not his responsibility. And certainly, by the way, none of the talents are liable for this. This is something where they are the victims, and they do deserve your support and your appreciation. And I will say this
Absolutely.
about all of them: Iron Mouse, Kason, Henya, everybody, Mitsubishi, everybody. They do deserve your support and love in this time, and also your understanding that they can't say the things that I can say because they're under a different level of scrutiny. Now, I do hope with some right legal maneuvers, they can finally speak up. And we're going to talk about that today in the way they may be able to speak up. But right now,
I know Iron
understand and
Mouse.
be patient with them. They need to work
She
with
already came
their
out and said
lawyers
she's
in their
got attorneys
jurisdiction,
and
or
she's fucking
in
rolling
perhaps
on them, dude.
California, which is a
Which
jurisdiction
she
for
absolutely needs to. That's a lot of
Vshojo,
fucking
where
money.
I think is very ripe to bring suits and claims, etc. They need to work with their own lawyers to get this done.
That's a good starter right there.
Patient with
You're right.
them to get to that point where they will be able to speak. I do believe that time is going to come sooner than later. Sooner than later. So let's continue with this. The best quote I think from this is "Talent first, my ass." That was probably the best Kason quote out there. Period. And I love Kason. I'm definitely a fan. So one important thing here is that Vshojo is an American company. Now we covered.
I thought they were Japanese
Nijisanji,
originated.
We've covered Cobra Corporation, big Japanese corporations. And one issue with those corporations is they're Japanese. And if the talent is American or Canadian or really non-Japanese at all, it's really, really difficult to come at those companies. This is not the problem for Vshojo. Vshojo is an American company. And an
Ah,
American
I didn't know that.
headquartered in one of the states with the most strong consumer protections out there, or strong.
I thought their headquarters was in
that are
Japan,
very,
and
very
I thought
broad.
they had
Looking to make
the
2025
Jesus
the year that
Christ.
you create your best tracks. With Splice, I'm starting the
I thought they had their American branch in San Francisco. I thought their main headquarters was in Japan, though. I'm wrong there. That's even worse. An American company, when you know an American company, now they're in Cali. Like, if that's, like I said, that's even worse because they're an American-based company, essentially treating their employees and their talent in the guise of a Japanese, like, what do I say, like a workforce, basically. Like I said earlier, I mean, we already know in Japan they work motherfuckers, bro, for as little as possible. And to run that same type of kind of business in America when you have so much more legal protections is wild.
There in all the United States. So this is a massive difference. And especially since many of the talents, particularly Iron Mouse, being a American citizen, right? Puerto Rico, still a citizen of the United States, and still able to bring claims, fully able to bring claims in California court, particularly related to labor. This is something where
Absolutely.
it is ripe for
Blizzard's a whole nother conversation.
conflict,
I'll get
ripe
into that
for
one
either
day if you
a
want to.
lawsuit, criminal filings, regulatory filings, because they are in America. And this is why I say they are sunk. This is why I say this is not an Nijisanji situation. This is not an any color. This is not a Hololive situation. Whatever else. And in those
Don't tell
situations,
fucking
Nijisanji,
Pirate
I told
Software the
everybody,
fucking
hey,
Blizzard's a
when
fucking shit
Joker's
show.
went down, this is
Fucking
not
daddy
gonna be
works
the
there.
end of Nijisanji by any stretch. Same thing when there's bumps in the road with Hololive, right? When Gura leaves, it's not going to be the end of Hololive. However, this will be the end of Vshojo. This is very, very much going to tank them because of this and because of their financial situation. And mind you, I will point out one other thing. They were founded in 2020. And what was happening in 2020, and I say this as a corporate attorney who was previously working in a law firm related to issuing bonds.
They started that bitch up in
That
COVID.
were used by governments and corporations, and then working in-house and seeing a lot of borrowing and corporate debt. During that period of time, corporations were borrowing at insanely low rates. They were drunk on debt and drunk on almost free money, money that was under the cost of inflation. So hell, why not? Let's just borrow as much as possible. So I have no doubt that they were highly leveraged going into this, and they were highly hyped up coming off of the kind of everybody's on the internet during COVID era, and thinking that was going to continue forever. And their financial projections were perhaps unrealistic given the fact that that was a temporary period of time that was over, and there was definitely bumps in the VTuber market as a whole, as
Oh, absolutely.
people no longer had to be online all the time. And so, yes, the VSuber market.
I mean,
did not
even so,
grow
people are
as it was
still
projected
online
to
non-fucking
grow
stop.
based on 2020 numbers or based on 2019 numbers, etc. So I think this number of the founding is actually relevant, and the fact that they are a relatively new company and they're private. So once again, we don't have a lot of the disclosures that we required of a public company. But let's talk about the contract. So I have seen a Vshojo contract. Now, in full disclosure, it was based on a previous contract. It is not anyone active. So it's an older contract. So they may have changed things in the contract. So
Doubtful.
I'm basing it on what I said. However, I don't think they've changed certain things. Number one, they do have certain NDA and confidentiality provisions based on that. I don't think they would have deleted that. I don't think they would have removed that. Those are in the contract. The
Absolutely
other
not.
most important thing is it does frame them as independent contractors, as non-employees. So that is a super important factor. That they
There
are
was
not
a
called
VTuber that
employees,
left
because
before
when you're an
Iron Mouse.
employee,
I
you
can't
get
remember
the
who the fuck
protection
it
of labor
was,
laws. You get the protection
but
of
she ended up
regulation.
leaving,
All of those things don't necessarily
and
apply to
she
independent
couldn't
contractors.
do
Now,
shit
different states
about
handle
like
this
putting them on
differently.
blast
Different
because of her
countries handle
NDA.
this differently.
She
If
couldn't say shit
anywhere
online or
the
nothing
United States is going to
because she
handle
was
this
legally
differently,
bound by the
probably
NDA.
California, which is going to look at that and say, no, these were really employees. These really weren't independent contractors. So I
Oh,
think
absolutely.
that doesn't exclude it, but it is important for the intent here, because the intent was always to shaft them out of payment, was always to not pay them. So let's continue here. So labor law, we're going to talk about this real quick. So this is about the claims for unpaid wages. And once again, a very important factor here is California, particularly if you're going to file it there, which is where Vshojo is headquartered, they don't have any restrictions as to residency status or et cetera. So you can file a labor claim there. Even the people that are part of the corporation that are non-American might have a potential, if they consult with their attorney, to file claims in California in some way, shape, or fashion. Once again, I do believe all the girls that I've heard of, as particularly Iron Mouse, have competent lawyers, and they should listen to their lawyers. Obviously, listen to their lawyers over anything I say. This is more education for the public and education for people in general. But I do believe there's a possibility for them to make
I'd imagine
claims in
Iron Mouse fucking
California,
hired
and that
a
would be huge for them.
wrecking
That
ball
would
of a lawyer,
open the
dude.
door to so much. So even if you have a contract, that's not going to prevent you from claiming, hey, you need to pay me these wages, right? Or reporting criminal activity. So reporting, hey, they didn't give this money to charity, and we knew it. And we saw it, we knew it. We have testimony. We'll be witnesses against this. We'll go to the federal or state.
That shit's crazy
criminal
as fuck,
cases
bro.
For these people, they can still testify to that. There's
Like,
nothing stopping them. The
it's one
NDA
thing
is
not to pay your
gonna stop them.
employees,
Nothing is
dude,
preventing them from reporting
but
that crime.
to
In
actively
fact, if
not
they try to
pay
retaliate
over
for that,
$500,000
Vshojo would
to
be
a
punished.
fucking
You cannot
charity.
try to retaliate against somebody for reporting a crime. That's not okay anywhere in the U.S. and in most countries
Basically
in
just
general.
stealing her
So the
money,
process
pocketing
for
it,
this would be to
and
gather
not fucking helping these kids
documentation,
out.
which they're probably doing
That's
right now.
crazy.
Lawyers, particularly Iron Mouse, is probably gathering a lot of documentation, getting witnesses together, and then you'd report it to the labor commissioner. In this case, probably the labor commissioner of California. And after that, there's a required mediation. Now, this might be what they're kind of why they're saying wait. Why Iron Mouse said in her video, hey, we need to get to a certain part of the legal process.
You can choose to raid the
Holy.
caravan, or you can choose to guard it.
Fuck that caravan.
This is a game where slaying
It might be because they want to go to that mediation. See
Indie
if they get a
creators grinding
settlement,
for real change.
see if
Yo,
Vshojo
honestly,
can
them
get this
indie
right.
games recently been
Otherwise, if it
fire as
fails, it's gonna
shit.
be a civil lawsuit. They can bring a civil lawsuit.
Them indie
In
games
which
are
case,
putting those
we'd all get
fucking
that
AAA
information,
studios
all the
to
information.
shame,
We'd
dude.
be able to talk about it. We'd be able to see everything that's going on. It would be a nightmare for them from Vshojo if they aren't already bankrupt, which we'll eventually touch on that topic. So then we got the silencing the mouse, and as well as the other talent. There are laws that prevent retaliation against employees reporting unlawful acts. You've probably heard of whistleblower protections. That's a whistleblower. Iron Mouse is a whistleblower saying there is something illegal going on here, i.e., taking money that's supposed to go to charity, whether that's embezzlement or whatever else, or a fraudulent transfer, like that can be reported, and there's no way you can retaliate against that. Also, there's another California law that's passed that arguably could prevent NDAs from silencing the employees in regards to reporting bad workplace behavior. So saying, hey, we're
Good.
not being paid, and they took this money from charity.
I want to see this
California law is pretty
motherfucker
clear
get their
that the
shit
NDA
bankrupt.
cannot stop
I want to see the
them from
motherfuckers in
now,
jail,
there
bro.
are other things that they could argue the NDA could stop
All of
from
them.
talking about.
Bankrupt the
Stuff
company
like
and put them in jail.
personal relationships or personal interactions, maybe for now, but that NDA is not going to silence them from speaking out on what is clearly illegal. Further, aside from whistleblower protections, you can't stop the reporting of crime. I cannot say that enough. Reporting a crime is always permissible, and no NDA in the world can silence you from reporting a crime. That's just the way it is. That's just the facts. So beyond that, let's get into what's going on with the criminal liability, and that could fall on the corporation, or that could fall on people like
Nice
Justin
catch.
the Gun Run Ignacio, the CEO. Once again, depending on his level of culpability and the culpability of the COO, the CTO, the other officers of the corporation, this criminal liability could fall not just on the corporation as a whole, but on these individuals, depending on how complicit they were in this scheme and how much knowledge they had of this. So let's get into the criminal side, shall we? So we've got obviously civil claims, which this is regarding the $500,000 that was not given to charity, that was taken, and God knows what they did with it.
I feel like that should. I feel like that should be at least a state or federal charge, right?
And they were used.
Like if you're actively saying, I mean, I get not giving money to a charity in general isn't a crime, but if you're swearing that you're taking somebody's money, like you're actively taking money from their pockets that they're earning and giving to you to advise, and not designating it to the spot, I feel like at bare minimum that should be a state crime, bro. Especially with the amount, like maybe put a dollar amount to it, like I don't know, $10,000. Like, hey, under $10,000 to fucking pay your money back and make it a civil case, but over $10,000 it bumps up to a state level, some type of shit like that. All assets for them are going to be locked with this, especially since I'm sure everyone they haven't paid has all their paperwork about it. I would hope so. I would genuinely hope so. The other thing you can take away from this situation, bro, is don't let other fucking people manage your money, bro. Like, not trying to throw salt on a wound, especially for Iron Mouse and these other VTubers. But, like, Iron Mouse specifically, she was handling everything. Like, she didn't have an accountant, or in a sense, her accountant worked for Vshojo. So she wouldn't deal with her money directly. She would have them deal with her money. And whenever she asked for money, they would just send it to her. Like, don't let other people handle your shit, bro. I don't trust even fucking banks to handle my money. I put my money in the bank when I get paid, and it stays in my account, but I do not let them organize or handle my actual funds. Like when I want to invest, I invest my own money on my own time, on my own research. Like, I'm not going to have somebody who I don't know who went to college to learn how to do this. And yeah, that sounds like a dumb fucking thing to say, but guess what? When they learn how to do that, they know how to fucking work the system, and they can probably easily shovel that money and make it look like they're investing it, but really putting it into their pockets. And essentially, that's kind of what I'm gathering that they did with her money.
Money to pay their current expenses, and they were over leveraged, so they were hoping to pay them back in the future and make some miracle money and pay them back in the future and get everything right.
Hey, I'm gonna borrow all your fucking money that you made, and I'm just gonna keep it to pay off my debt.
They didn't do that
and not pay you.
the money to the charity. Now that's once again, it's my speculation about what they did, but based on what Case on Stream, which just happened just a couple minutes ago, I stopped watching it. It seems they're in financial trouble. And if you're in financial trouble, what are you going to do? You're going to take the money and you're going to use it to
turn it to an embezzlement scheme. Absolutely. It probably is, bro. They're probably fucking smuggling the money.
Labor law restrictions.
That's not pocketing themselves.
CEO got paid and Kason didn't. So that's what I think they did with that money. Now, if they did that with that money, there's three things that can happen here. Civil claims, both by the donors themselves and by Mouse and
absolutely
anybody else who's a big donor or gave money.
100%.
Federal crimes and their state crimes. Let's talk about civil claims. So first of all, donors can file suit against Vshojo. So if they donated money or you donated money, you're out there, you donated money, you might want to just have a chit chat with a lawyer and talk about what you did, how much money you gave, and what was going on.
The
with
other
that.
thing is, if somebody
There's
has
claims, you know, once again, these are different types of
a
claims, so
charity event,
misrepresentation,
like if
breach of
I were to do a
contract,
charity
fraudulent
event, or if
transfer,
somebody I'm
particularly
following
fraudulent
does a
transfer
charity
comes into
event,
play here because
I'm
the
not
large
donating
sum
that
of
money
because it's a
unless it's an A
massive
and B like A and
amount
B
of money.
situation.
Misrepresentation.
Like
because
I'm
they
not gonna trust a
misrepresented that the
third
money was gonna
party
go
to send that money to the
the charity, and
fucking
they didn't
charity,
give it
bro.
there, and breach of contract because
I
there's
mean,
an
Christ,
implicit contract.
they
There's a
fucking hardly ever do,
fiduciary
bro.
duty there
They really
to
hardly ever do.
take that money.
I mean, you
and
see it
give
with
to
government
the
charities,
charity,
bro.
and they
You think the
broke that
government charities are actually sending the
understanding. They
fucking
broke
money
that
to the
with the
charity?
government.
Absolutely not. They're
And
funneling it back
Iron
into the
Mouse would
government.
also likely bring a claim as well, because once again, she was
If
part
it's not a
of
direct
that.
fucking link
I'm sure,
to that
donated
charity event,
from
bro,
herself.
don't
She
fucking
probably
send your money
steps as
to
a
it
donor.
because it's probably
Also,
not
just
going
to
there.
clear herself from that and saying, "Hey, look, this money was supposed to go there. It didn't. Let me put this claim in there to make it very clear that they're doing wrong." So I think Iron Mouse also could back up the donos in that. Let's go to federal crimes. This is the fun one. This is the one where they're going to end up paying the money from behind bars. Charity fraud is typically investigated by the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. Now, oftentimes they're working in conjunction with the state attorney general. So those working as kind of a team in order to look into all types of charity fraud and really do the investigation. Once again, we are very preliminary. We're at the allegation phase. This would all need to be investigated. We need to see proof. We need to see documents. But the people
Be
who
real
get that
honest.
are the FTC and the
Personal opinion, I don't know if I trust the fucking state attorney of California to get that shit done. To be honest.
And I think the state attorney general of California, which I'm sure many people are going to contact after this, will be very, very interested in hearing this case. $500,000 from a immunodeficiency charity. I'm sorry, that is deplorable, and that's disgusting. And once again,
Absolutely.
I try to keep this to objective.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
The scope of this really does give me a righteous indignation with the amount of money.
Stealing that amount of money from people who fucking need it.
So depending on
Crazy
the nature
work,
of
bro.
fraud, a breach of that that duty to deliver that money can violate several federal laws. So it can be wire fraud. Wire fraud is one of the easiest ones to get them for. And certainly if they wanted to go down that route, and it is a case where they receive the money via the internet, because wire fraud is not just old school wires and telephones, it's the internet. They got them, boys. They got them on that one. Money laundering, potentially making false statements about where the money would go, misrepresentation.
Fair amount of interest. Oh, I agree. It should be get fucked on interest.
Regulation of money regarding charities. All of those things they can be hit with, and they can
Should.
get real jail time on this. This is serious jail time in real prison. This is
Good.
not
Lock these motherfuckers up, bro.
Down under the sun. This is all potential prison time for people at Vshojo. Beyond.
On a serious note, on yet a jokingly serious note, right? People like this, bro, who will voluntarily just fucking rob people who are surviving off of these funds from charities. You know what I think they should do with them, bro? You know what I think where they should go? Take a guess. Fucking send them to Alligator Alcatraz, bro. Send them over there. Fucking send them over to the alligators, bro. Send them over to the alligators. Tell them if they can fucking make it out of Alligator Alley, bro. Give them nothing but a stick and a rock and a pair of boxers, bro. Tell them if they can make it out of fucking Alligator Alley on foot, they can fucking drop the charges. Fucking send them over there, bro.
That there's state law. There's California Penal Code 503, 501, 515 regarding embezzlement. So assuming that they took the money and they embezzled it and they use it elsewise, that's right there. Breach of fiduciary duty, because they have a duty. They're the trustee of that money to give it over to the charity. That was their duty. Yeah. Fiduciary duty. Anybody who, for example,
fucking send these motherfuckers to over El Salvador, bro.
Lawyer, and that lawyer's supposed to go pay for real estate.
Disgusting humans, dude.
They pay for, cocaine and whatever else. That's going to be a huge, massive problem. So that would be a breach of fiduciary duty. This was a breach of fiduciary duty in the charity sense. Misleading and deceptive fundraising, I think that speaks for itself. They said the money was going to go one place, it didn't go there. Also, reporting and regulatory violations. So, how do they do their taxes? How do they report this? They needed to report this to the government, to the regulatory authorities, saying, hey, we donated this money to charity. Did they take a tax write off for this? Did they write this off on their taxes? Did they make a false financial report? That's massive. And the last one, and you know, the two things you're afraid of, even the Joker is afraid of, is the IRS. And the tax law violations, both in the
I didn't even think about that.
is at the state and the
IRS don't fuck around sometimes, bro.
But tax
They want their
law
money.
is perhaps the most massive place. Because if they chose to try to take a write-off on this or to falsify their taxes, oh boy, the tax man does not F around. Does not F around.
He's not
And
wrong,
that's
bro.
where the people could see very, very serious state consequences.
He's not wrong, bro. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let me get this out over with.
Now get 20% off at Chewy Pharmacy. These days, we get everything delivered.
Let's talk about the other girls.
Bro, I fucked around with the IRS one time, bro. Won't do it again. Filed my taxes. I always do my own taxes. Filed my taxes and realized I owed. Such a strip, even though Joker's there. He's not wrong, bro. I fucked around, did my taxes, and realized I owed. I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll pay him, right? Well, I decided to hold off on that payment. Next thing you know, I forgot about that payment. Next tax year comes around, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got some fucking money back, bro. Decent money too. I think I owed like, I don't know, a little over $2,000. Then the next year when I did my taxes, that was the year. So me and my wife swapped on what year we claimed our daughter. At the time, we weren't married, so we weren't filing together. So it was my year to claim my daughter. So I had the child tax credit along with actually making, well, I guess getting taxes back from my job. And I think I came back with like, I don't know, $4 or $5,000. I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, I'll be able to use that somewhere. Not only did they take what I owed them, which was, like I said, about $2,000, give or take a couple bucks, they took the rest of that shit too. Why they took all of it and not what I owed them, I don't know. Maybe they fucking had it interest. But I'll tell you what, I didn't see a single fucking dime of the fucking money that I thought I was getting back. They don't fuck around, dude. They do not fuck around. Try not paying your fucking income tax one time, bro. Try not paying income tax one fucking time, and I guarantee those motherfuckers take your whole next check, if not the rest of the fucking year.
And a little bit about what
no joke
went
too.
on with them. Obviously,
Apparently
a
there's
lot of
interest, bro. I
them
didn't think
have
there was.
pulled out of the branding. They've no longer branded themselves as Vshojo. They're going to have talks on this. Obviously, Case on it, a very clear talk. I think Henya's going to talk, and some others are going to have
Henya's going to walk, bro.
I may have follow-up
Anybody
videos
who
on
doesn't
that,
walk
but
from
it
Vshojo
very
at this
much
point
seems
is
like
fucking,
these talents were,
no offense, but
especially
pretty
since
fucking
Case
dumb.
said she was shafted out of wages, that she didn't get paid her wages. In that case, I think they need to file claims as well. I think all of the talents need to consider, particularly in California, filing labor law claims. And once they do that, the other thing that's really going to be awesome for them is all those no retaliation clauses apply to them, so they can start speaking more. Now they need to talk to their attorneys and make sure this works for them under their situation. Their personal attorney is comfortable with this, but assuming they are, once they do that, once the claim is initiated, they will be able to say a little bit more. Now, there's another factor here. This applies to Iron Mouse and all the other girls and why they're not going to talk. If you're going to go into a lawsuit situation or you're going to sue, you want to shut up. You want to say as little as possible, only what you can say or have to say. So even
No
if the
hints,
girls
bro.
can speak
No
technically,
fucking
they
hints.
could say it and they're not going to get punished under the law, or
I was
Vshojo's
more
not
serious
gonna
with
be able
them.
to sue them for
I don't want to
breaching
get big
NDA.
with them
There
now.
may be
They're about
other
to lose
good
so much.
reasons for them not talking.
Bro,
However,
I
that
shit
might
you
be
not,
able
bro.
to open
Iron
up
Mouse
things,
brought them
explaining a
so
little bit more
much
to their
fucking
audience
money,
and giving
bro.
a little bit more context. And
So
maybe
much
at
money.
some point they want to do that. So that's something there. But
Her leaving
beyond
alone,
they're owed
that's
wages. They're
that doesn't
all
even
owed
count the
wages.
other big
They need to
streamers
get
that are
paid.
rolling
They need to get paid
and the
the
small
money that they're
streamers.
owed. And I say
But Iron
wages
Mouse
as
alone
in
rolling, bro,
wages.
is a
People usually
massive
associate with,
fucking hit in the bank for them.
employees, and payments are usually independent contractors.
Especially if she
There's
takes them
language
for all
there.
their fucking
But
worth.
to me, these people are not just amazing talents. They're workers, they're true employees that are dedicating a significant amount of their time, and they are giving some control and authority over to this entity to direct them to do certain things and to take certain actions. And beyond that, the financial arrangement between them is is one that I think they could argue, particularly with the restrictiveness of the contract, that set them up as employees. Even further, put Vshojo on the defensive. If all of them file claims in California, labor law claims, it's on Vshojo to prove that they're not.
Are you a
Oh,
hot
Jesus.
sleeper? Do you find yourself waking up in the middle of the night overheated
Shut
and
up.
drenched?
Employees. So put Vshojo on the defensive. Don't allow Vshojo to take the offensive. Take the offensive against Vshojo.
Shut those motherfuckers down, bro.
Push them. And I think that is the right emphasis as they go forward with this. And I'm sure there's lots of California attorneys that would help them. And frankly, if any of the girls needed any help finding a California attorney, I'm happy to try to hook them up and recommend them for them. But that said, I think the girls do need to consider their options and speak with local attorneys. Beyond that, this is a big one, especially after the case on stream. I think they need
I'll
to
pause it. I see ads are coming in. Hey, Mark, let me know when the ads are over. Or are you subbed? Are you subbed? I got Twitch ads thrown at me. Yeah, let me know when you're back. Yeah. I mean, moral of the story is, bro, can't trust these fucking companies at all. Can't fucking trust them. And take care of your own fucking bread, dude. Don't let somebody fucking handle your bread for you. Real shit. A lot of this could have been avoided on the streamer's end. Obviously not with not getting paid. But ads done. Cool. But yeah, I mean, a lot of this could have been avoided if they would have just took care of their own finances, bro. Real shit. A lot of this would have been caught early on. Iron Mouse wouldn't have had to go 360 plus days without seeing fucking money. She would have been able to catch them not paying the charity a lot sooner. I mean, obviously, it's gotten to the point of an apex where it's just, at this point, just fucking launching like a volcano, dude. But these guys need to be fucking done, dude. Done. Cooked. Throw them on a skillet and fry them up.
Really worry about Vshojo declaring bankruptcy, because based on the financial situation as explained by the JP CEO, it looks like they're not doing good. And what I am worried, and the strategy that came out of Case on Stream, which I think is putting together, is they are not paying the independent contractors because they're planning to declare bankruptcy. I have seen this before as corporate counsel, as evil corporate counsel from my back days when I did that. That is something corporations do. When they're going under, they stop paying out because they know they're just going to declare bankruptcy. And what happens when you declare bankruptcy? Well, there's two types of debt. There's secured debt and there's unsecured debt. Secured debt gets paid first. The stuff like mortgages or something like a lien on a car, right? It's secured by something. There's something they can take. That's paid first. Then there's going to be employees' wages. Those are paid. But anything else, including independent contractors, is unsecured and dischargeable. So the big thing they're banking for is to
That's crazy.
Charge the payments because they label them as independent contractors. That's their strategy. I mean, I see it clear as day. And to me,
that's crazy.
Not only
if they pull that off, that's fucking wild.
How quickly are they going to declare bankruptcy? In fact, if I was the CEO of Vshojo, I'd be running right now into the bankruptcy court to declare it right now so they can stop all payments. And now that would put it on them to battle back. That would put it on the talents. So I think the Vshojo response is going to be to immediately declare bankruptcy. And why is that? They lost their largest talent. There's no way they can financially recover. You can't explain to me how Vshojo, who is already losing money by the own admission of their staff, by the own admission of the JP CEO, is already losing money. They're already not able to pay. And suddenly they're going to lose all their talent and be able to pay? No one's going to give this company a loan, especially with this bad PR. Are you kidding me? No, this is a clear bankruptcy scenario. And in bankruptcy, they're going to try to discharge that. Now, there's a little ray of hope, a tiny little smidgen of hope.
Bro, if they get away with it, that's
That there is a
crazy
special
work, bro.
exemption for unpaid commissions to independent contractors. So debt qualifies for priority status, meaning it gets higher status than unsecured debt if during the 12 months before the bankruptcy, 75% of the contractor's own earnings were from the debtor. So in this case, that would apply to most of the girls, I imagine. Now, maybe they have other earnings or other money from elsewhere, but if they were making most of their money from Vshojo, that is a big exemption that could fly in there.
I would hope. The other thing is, I mean, is that so? If it's a 12-month time period, so if they went longer than 12 months without paying out, anything prior to that 12 months is basically null and void. So there's, and essentially, if that's the case, there's no way that they're going to get all their money back. Like basically 0% chance is basically what I'm getting at. I give them maybe a 1% chance. I mean, hopefully they'll be able to recover what they lost within that 12 months, obviously. But again, if I had to guess with the popularity and whatnot of Iron Mouse, bro, I would have to guess she probably brings in, I would probably say well over 100 to 150 a month. And if she's not actually dealing with that and they're taking that money and running with it, and she's past that 12-month period, I mean, just start doing the math, say she was 16 months. That's an additional 4 months of 150 plus K. That's a lot of fucking money, bro. A lot of money.
It doesn't guarantee they get paid out, but it does give a glimmer of hope if they go the bankruptcy route, which I think it's looking like right now.
Seeing the statistics on that, I don't know why they wouldn't go the bankruptcy route.
Check out the live if you want to get all the questions, the banter, all that other stuff, and I will catch you on the...
All right, I'm not watching that ad. By the way, that's Legal Mindset. Dude has excellent fucking breakdowns on a lot of the shit, especially in the streaming realm. So if you're on YouTube, regardless of what the people at Vshojo said, they're fucked in all the ways. I hope so, bro. I genuinely hope so, bro. Even if they go bankruptcy and they fucking weasel their way out of paying them their money, bro, which would be ungodly fucked. But if they weasel their way out of paying them their money, I'm hoping that at least the fucking government, federal government, IRS, somebody just puts those motherfuckers in jail, bro. You want some type of justice for that type of shit. Some type of justice. But anyway, that was Legal Mindset's video. If you're on YouTube, give him a sub. Dude breaks down. Dude breaks down all kinds of shit. Again, especially in the streamer world. It legally breaks down shit. So